Hey guys, today I'm going to be revealing my preseason top 25 for college football. At 25, we have Boise State. New members in the Pac-12. We'll see if they can be dominant in theirs Mountain West and compete for the non-Power 4 playoff spot. Next up, at 24, I have Arizona. I think Noah Fafita is an excellent quarterback, and they can potentially surprise some people and have a very successful season. Next up is at 23 is Tennessee. The concern with them is their quarterbacks. Josh Heupel always has a great team, but not an elite one. And we kind of saw that their ceiling was getting destroyed in the playoffs, and I'm just a little worried this season they're not going to be competitive. Next up at 22, I have Utah. With Devin Dampier at quarterback, they're always going to be a great team having a chance. We'll see if they can take that jump and be an elite team this year. At 21, I have Houston. I think Houston, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated teams and clearly the third best team in the Big 12. At 20, we have Iowa. They played close with Indiana and Oregon, only losing to those teams by one score. If they can flip the script in one of those games this year, they could be a dark horse team to make the playoffs. At 19, I have SMU. SMU is always right there in the ACC playoff picture to potentially contend to be one of those top two teams. We'll see this year if they can have that same success from 2 years ago. Next up, at 18, we have Washington, one of the most underrated teams in the nation, and I think they could potentially ruin some team seasons in the Big Ten this year. At 17, we have Penn State. With them getting a lot of the best players from Iowa State to follow their coach to Penn State this year, I'm eager to see what kind of success they can have in year one in Happy Valley. At 16, we have USC. Lincoln Riley always seems to be just about to get over the hump when it comes to playing at USC and making the CFP. But we'll see this year if you can finally do it with Jordan Mayava and a great recruiting class. At 15, we have Texas Tech. The main concern, Brandon Sorsby most likely not going to be able to play, and Will Hammond, when will he come back from the ACL? And if they can do that without sustaining any damage, they'll be a team to potentially win the Big 12. But if not, we'll see. At 14, we have Oklahoma. Their main hope is that John Mateer can come back to his pre-injury form from the past year, and we know Brent Venables always have an elite defense. At 13, we have Michigan with Kyle Whittingham and Bryce Underwood coming in his second year. If he can just moderately improve, there's no reason they can't be a college football playoff team. At 12, we have Ole Miss. Post Lane Kiffin era, we'll see how it looks with Pete Golding, but with Trinidad Chambliss getting his sixth year, we know they'll be competitive with an elite quarterback like him. At 11, we have BYU. I think BYU could potentially compete for the Big 12. They were one game away from the playoffs last year, and if they can beat Texas Tech without Brandon Sorsby, they can be a playoff team. And at number 10, I have LSU. I have mixed feelings about LSU, mainly because we've seen the portal work, and the portal be a disaster. I think LSU could certainly be a playoff team. I'm just wondering if they're being a little overhyped. Next up, at number 9, we have A&M. A&M, we know, is a great team, but Marcel Reed benefited from an easy schedule and struggled against the two hard teams he played in Miami and Texas Tech. My only concern is they have limited upside with him as a passer. Next up, at number 8, we have Alabama. My main concern with Alabama is their O-line, their D-line. They've addressed both, but the main question for them is how much? Because if they can run the ball, they'll be a championship contender. If not, they might be fated to have a second-round exit just like last year. At number 7, we have Miami. We know Miami likes having their quarterbacks come in and be ready to go. As for Dill Mensa, Carson Beck, Cam Ward, we know they have an elite team, and we just want to know, can they compete and actually win an outright bid from the ACC this year? At number 6, we have Indiana. They lost a lot of talent and got a lot of talent in the transfer portal. I just don't know without Mendoza if they're going to have the same success as this past year. Number 5, at Notre Dame. We know Notre Dame is going to be elite with CJ Carr, and they have a very favorable schedule. But when they play Miami, that might be a good test to see if they're a true contender or just benefiting from an easy schedule. At number 4, we have Oregon. Dante Moore withdrawing is one of the biggest wins of the offseason for any team, but we'll see if Oregon cannot just be dominant in the regular season, but be dominant in the CFP. As we know, besides the JMU layup game, they haven't been competitive against other good teams. At number 3, I have Georgia. With Gunnar Stockton improving each year and then having an elite run game and an elite defense, they don't need him to be Superman, but if he can take a step and those two things to be elite, there's no reason Georgia can't win the whole thing. At number 2, I have Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith, Bo Jackson, Julian Sayin, and Ryan Day at the helm. There's no reason Ohio State can't potentially win their first Big Ten title since 2020 and win the whole thing. At number 1, I have Texas with Arch Manning, Cam Coleman, Colum Simmons, Hollywood Brown, and Brown from ASU, and Sarkisian. There's no reason Texas can't win the SEC and win the whole thing. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know down below, do you agree with this list? And if not, what would you change?